welcome into Talking Lead, episode 106. Man, that intro music gives me chill bumps every time. I love it. The name of that band is Despite, if you guys want to check them out. I think they're like Swedish or... but
it sounds very Viking-esque.
Yeah, they've got some very good pump you up kind of music, you know, like we like to listen to at the gym.
Yeah, I think I might get some of it for my iPod if I can ever figure out how to use it again.
Yeah, and in case you guys don't recognize the voice, that's Spectre from the VSO Gun Channel. He joined us episode 105. Welcome back, Spectre.
Great to be here, man. Again, thank you for having me as the guest host this month. It's great. And real quick, I want to tell you, I was at an auction last week, all right, getting some stuff for the range, and I was wearing a Talking Lead shirt, and somebody actually said, "Hey, nice shirt." I was like, "Hey, I'm guest hosting the show this week." So, yeah, and then I just walked out into the field and went and looked at equipment.
That's cool. So it didn't get you a better deal on the auction or anything?
No. It was just somebody there at the auction.
Just eye candy, huh? Okay. Yeah. Well, cool. So that's probably going to be coming up in some videos. We'll get to see the new equipment. Maybe that's some stuff we're going to be using in the AK torture test, huh?
Yeah, some of it should be there by then. Yeah, so this is a key piece of equipment.
Yeah, so for those who didn't listen to episode 105 or haven't listened to it yet, and you're cheating and listening to 106, we dropped some big news that VSO Gun Channel and Talking Lead, and there's going to be a couple other people, we're collabing together to do an AK torture test, and not just any AK torture test. This is going to be a very, how would you describe it, Spectre?
If you really like guns and you're the kind of person who like scrubs their gun and like really pays attention to like the scratches and dents on your guns and stuff like that, this is a video you probably should skip. I'm just going to put it like that. All right. Because you might have an aneurysm on this one.
You like to keep your AK looking Gucci.
Yes. Yes.
It might be disturbing to you. Yeah, so that's coming up in, September's what the date we set on that?
Yep, we have some date.
And the way that it's going to be awesome is we need listener and subscriber participation. And the way that they can help us make this the most awesomest video torture test ever is we've got a little donation site set up, right, Spectre?
Yeah, we have a Patreon account over at Patreon. If you look for us, the VSO Gun Channel, over on Patreon, there's a medium for you to go ahead and if you guys feel so compelled to help us out with some of the funding on this test, you know, we can get some things into some more equipment into, you know, make it better and really take it to the next level. Right. We're really hoping to get some funding for some destructible cameras and stuff like that so that I can like attach a GoPro to it. And
well, I think what really is going to be awesome is if we can get the funding for the slow-mo camera and operator.
Yeah, that's what I'm really, really hoping for. I'm really hoping. I had a conversation with somebody this week who is a friend in the industry. They did give me a quote on it. And it's going to be, you know, they gave me a friends and family deal, and it's still not going to be, you know, cheap, guys. So we would really appreciate your help. A lot of people don't realize what some of those high-speed cameras cost. I mean,
oh my gosh, they're like what, 50, 60,000?
If you buy a Phantom, it's a $200,000 camera.
Oh, yes. Oh my God,
that's what I'm talking about. Yes, it costs more to rent that thing a day than I make.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
So you can see the need for the funding.
Yes.
So anything that you guys can help with on the Patreon account, please go there. $1, $5. I mean, it doesn't have to be much, but every little bit will help. We'll see. Yep. So that's an ongoing project. We'll keep you posted on that. But now let's let the gunny take it away with our jackwagon of the week.
Hoorah, Semper Fi, do or die, hold 'em high at 8th and I. It is time for the Talking Lead Jackwagon of the Week, so brace yourself, baby.
So we've got a couple of listener suggestions on jack wagons. Starship Benz says, "How about the Ninth Circuit for all their lame and boneheaded decisions infringing on the Second Amendment?" I can't argue with that.
But yeah, pretty much.
The Ninth Circuit, for you people who don't know what we're talking about, it's the United States Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit. It's a federal court appellate jurisdiction over the district courts in Alaska, Arizona, of course, California. No offense to you guys from California, we love you. We appreciate the support. Hawaii, Idaho, Montana, Nevada, Oregon, Eastern District of Washington, and Western District of Washington.
So basically, the only place that is actually America there is Alaska.
America. Well, Arizona. You got Arizona on there too.
Okay, yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely.
I forgot about that, but yeah.
Yeah, that's a good nomination. I like that nomination.
Yeah, definitely a good nomination. And the dangerous thing about that sort of stuff, guys, is yes, we are talking about stuff that mostly governs a lot of the cases that come out of the West Coast, but it is a federal appellate court, and it does have jurisdiction over federal matters. And we are talking about something that is going to determine whether these things make it to higher courts, and it does set precedents for the entire country. Slippery slope, guys.
Yeah. All right. So, do you have anybody you wanna throw on there this week? Let me do this first, though. We got another suggestion from one of our longtime porters and listeners, Dave Moore, and Dave has actually started his own, and he's been doing it for a while. His own YouTube channel is Dave Moore. Very entertaining guy, very funny, and he's a guy that I'm planning on having on the show sometime soon, too. So Dave says, how about Donald Trump for being an anti-gun control, but pro-assault weapon ban, and for having a longer waiting period to purchase a firearm?
Well, actually, there was a video I saw this week that was published by somebody who attended the NRA annual meeting, and they actually had Donald cornered, and they had him asking him questions. He got in there, got a question asked. He asked him about muskets to printing press correlation or analogy, and then directly asked him if the Second Amendment covered the AR-15, and his response was, quote unquote, sure.
Sure. He's like, sure, whatever gets me elected.
Yeah, so while I think it's a weak response, it is at least a positive response. So I don't know how relevant Donald Trump is when it comes to presidential politics at this point in time, but
I don't know. I mean, that's something I'd like to hear our listener feedback on. So hit us up on iTunes, Twitter, Facebook, and let us know what you think about Donald Trump running for president. So what about this one? Matt Brestel, and this is on Facebook. And Matt, if I messed up your last name, I'm sorry, brother. He's saying the D-bag senator from Georgia introducing the no guns in airport bill. I've not heard about that yet.
Wow, that's. I would be very surprised if I heard. Well, first of all, I'm shocked that got introduced in Georgia. Mm-hmm. First of all, and I would be very shocked if it went through because Georgia. I have lots of friends down there in Georgia, and you guys do it right down there. I would be very, very shocked to see such a nasty bill go through Georgia and survive.
I can only assume that they're talking about no transportation of gun. I mean, obviously, there's not going to be any firearms allowed in the airport itself anyway. I guess is that what he's talking about?
I would have to do more research on it, but I can only assume. Again, like you said, I can only assume. That it is because, I mean, come on, you can't just walk through. I mean, talk about arbitrary laws. The TSA is going to disarm you before you get through the terminal anyway.
I think I found it. So I think he's talking about Congressman Hank Johnson. No loaded guns at airports. Okay, let me read this. Keeping loaded guns out of airports is the goal of bill announced Monday by Georgia Congressman Hank Johnson. Speaking on the floor of the U.S. House of Representatives, Cobb County Democrat said his bill is a response to an incident 2 weeks ago in Atlanta. That's when a man walked into Atlanta's Hatfield-Jackson Airport with a loaded automatic weapon and a 100-round magazine. Mr. Speaker, actions like this, which follow shootings at airports in Los Angeles and Houston, undermine public security in the same way as yelling fire in a crowded theater, Johnson said. The Airport Security Act would require licensed gun owners who travel through the airport to carry firearms unloaded and in a locked case. It would also ban loaded weapons in areas that aren't behind security gates.
Well, see, here's the problem I see. Like, for instance, I go pick somebody up just because. So this could extend to airport grounds. So
okay, I guess
I conceal carried the other day when I picked my father up from the airport. He was on a business trip, and my mother
I do that all the time. Yeah.
Kind of left him. My mother kind of left him high and dry and made him fly home. So he didn't have a car, so I had to pick him up. I picked him up. I was concealed carrying the whole time, but that could make that a crime. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's not okay. Yeah, definitely not okay.
Right. Yeah, and I agree with that. So we'll probably need to get more information on this, and it's probably an ongoing thing. But definitely something to keep abreast and keep our eyes on.
Certainly.
Yeah. So here's our Jack Wagon of the week. Our buddy Aaron Cowan over at Sage Dynamics just recently put out a video. It's called "Don't Eat Your Own." Basically, what it's about is how people within the industry tend to pick on, berate, overly criticize,
and what a lot of people don't see is they see the stuff that's written online. They also don't see the industry insider stuff. There's a lot of cutthroat, backstabbing, lots of nefarious activity that goes on behind the scenes that a lot of people don't see. And it's very, very counterproductive.
And an example that Aaron uses, and it's a good example, for instance, is someone's preference in what they carry. Maybe they've got a tricked out Glock that's been polished, and they've got the trigger added, and they've got the RMR sights on there, and then somebody else is just looking at the guns like, hey man, that's overkill. Why would you do that? Well, probably because as Aaron points out in his video, it's because this guy actually trains, and there's a reason why he's done that stuff to his gun. Either it makes him faster, it makes him more accurate, probably a combination of all those. But before you just automatically start, berating someone and judging them on their gun, talk to them, ask why, why'd you do that? And there's probably a good reason why they did it. But the video is great. I mean, you go to YouTube at Sage Dynamics. And Aaron's going to, watch the video and he'll go into more detail about it. I don't want to steal his content or his thunder, but I thought it was a very good video, very tastefully done. So our Jack Wagon this week is going to be tied in with the topic that Aaron was talking about in his video, and the people that in our industry, how would you say it's
I would say that there's a group of people that break people down and undermine them in the interest of self-promotion or self-gratification, because they think whatever their mindset is correct. And it really, if you look at the industry as a whole, having been in it for a little while, we're very, very closed-minded people when it comes to other people's preferences on guns. I've put out lots of videos on disliking the Glock platform. Mm-hmm. And the other day, I even was on one of my buddy's YouTube pages. He posted a video about what he carries, which is 2 Glock 19s. My buddy Jordan Winkler down at Tactical Response. And I left a lighthearted comment saying he needs 2 Glock 19s because that way 50-50 shot, one of them will fail. He'll have a working gun.
Yeah, I was just with Jordan earlier today.
Oh, really? That's crazy.
Yeah, he and I are good friends also. But yeah, he gives me crap about 40 caliber. Even that, people giving other people crap about the caliber that they use. You got these elitists out there that think because that's what they use and that's what they carry, everybody should do that. Yeah, and instead of being open-minded, well, give me crap. That's fine, but I'm still going to use a 40 caliber because I've not seen any scientific reason that it's not going to put somebody down when I shoot them with it. So,
it will. I guarantee you it will. No, but see, there's a difference right there, guys. You'll notice that in my comments that I mentioned to Jordan and my comments just now to Left Hand, it's that it's lighthearted. in nature. Like, we're friends.
Right.
We can bust each other, but there are people that are literally like, they sit around and wring their hands and like really tear people up.
They'll want to fight you over it.
And this is a good example. My arms dealer, for the longest time, the guy who's been transferring my guns and all that sort of stuff, for the longest time, was a diehard Glock fan. He would fight you over Glock being the best pistol in the world. Then I handed him a SIG one day. He has not shot his Glock since. Straight up.
And that's the thing, and I think you hit the nail on the head. Is don't be closed-minded. Be open-minded to new things. There's more than one right way to do something, and not everybody's the same fit. So what fits you is not going to fit, the guy next to you. So right. Aaron did a great job in this video. I just wanted to give him props on that. Don't want to spend much more time. Go watch his video. And you guys will see what we're talking about. Don't eat your own. Aaron Cowan at Sage Dynamics. Great video.
VSO approved.
So, Spectre, last episode we talked about how we were at SHOT Show together and we did a little interview. I don't think we actually got into like the origin of VSO, how you got involved with firearms, kind of your background, your history. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Sure, man. I've been around guns since I was a child. Actually, my father was a military man. He's actually a disabled veteran. He was like the black sheep of the family. My mother's whole side of the family is all like anti-gun, like hardcore. So I grew up as like just the outcast from the family. Our whole side was like very gun oriented. You can walk into my parents' house and like open a drawer, and there's like 4 boxes of like half shot shells. Like the other day, I was like, we don't even own a 380. Why do we have this caliber, in this household? Your brother used to carry a PPK and yada, yada, yada. So guns saturated my life when I was a child. I was given my first 22 when I was like 4 or 5. By 6, 7, and 8, I was out shooting squirrels by myself. Around that time, my parents were constructing a house on a huge farm that is now now where we do all the stuff at VSO. I was told to go entertain myself. Go hunt, boy. I was just, go fish, go hunt, go whatever. We're working on the house.
Get out of the house. Me and Mama got something we need to do.
Yeah, and I was the kid that grew up in the age of going to Walmart and Dad clearing the shelf of the bricks of 22. Back when they were like $5, $6, $7, $8 a brick of $5.50.
Yeah, those were the days.
Yeah, the good old days. And I'd sit there and I'd shoot a whole box, man. That was just the way it was. And he actually gave me that first 22 because I had a pellet gun or a BB gun, and I was like the BBs weren't fast enough to hit the pigeons before they flew off the barn roof. So I was like trying to game which way they would break so that the BB would hit them in time. And he's like, it's time to step you up, I think, a few calibers. So I grew up doing that. It just really evolved from there. And then I went off to school. I went to university, got my degree, and I got really into the reloading, the shooting again as an adult. Now that I'm able to purchase all this stuff by myself, and just started getting really into it. And really what really launched VSO is my brother was getting ready to go away for the military at the time. And I was, home visiting, and we were just sitting around watching YouTube, and we're like, man, the kind of stuff that we're seeing on YouTube, like, we're way funnier than these guys. Like, we could do like
everybody always thinks they can do better, right?
Well, we were looking at it, and we're like, we don't need to produce like super serious content or any of this like crazy stuff that's going on over here. If we just do our own thing, we were literally looking at it, and we weren't trying to be facetious or vain or anything, and said, right, we are actually way more interesting than these people. And at
least to us, right?
Yeah. So what we decided to do is we started putting together a group of people that were very diverse. So, like I said, I went to college. I went to school for biological sciences and chemistry of all things. And actually, one of my favorite jobs when I got out was I was actually a research and development contractor for a firm, for a Department of Defense firm that actually moonlights as a really we do so much good stuff for the world sort of thing. So, so that was a really fun gig, and that's about the time that VSO started to heat up, if you will. And I've been doing this kind of since, just kind of took it over and just
been doing it for like 6 years now, haven't you?
Yeah, something like that. So, we're sitting somewhere around the 60,000 subscriber mark at this point in time, but we're very diverse in the type of content that we produce. And that's our big thing is we want to be as broad as we can, but still stay in our lane. Like we want to do our thing.
I don't think your brother could get any broader. He's as broad as a barn right now.
Yeah.
That Joker is huge, man.
He is a big dude. And, that's what happens when he's also a tall person as far as he's in the Navy. And Navy regs, for his height, he would have to, if he wanted to pass Navy regs, he'd have to weigh 200 and some pounds or something like that. Something in the low 200s. The kid weighs in at 260 right now. All right. He would be complete skin and bones if he did that. So what a lot of people don't realize is that they have a tape test. And they tape your neck and they tape your waist. That's how you get your body fat percentage. So his way to pass the Navy regs and not be on the fat kid program the entire time was to have the biggest traps that you could possibly get. So they wrap the tape around your neck and they're like, he has to have a 70-inch waist to fail.
Flexes his neck. Yeah, man, he's not fat by any means. I mean, no. He's just beefy and his arms are like tree trunks. But anyway, enough about him.
Yeah, well, real quick story about that. We were sitting at a bar one time, and we had a guy actually come up and ask if he could pretend to arm wrestle him for a photo.
That's funny.
That's right when he started his sleeve. He has a Ragnarok on his left bicep that wraps all the way around. So the sleeve makes it look even bigger. And he actually, for the longest time, actually hid it from my mother because she was really, really anti-tattoo.
Oh my gosh.
And then, right before he was getting ready to deploy one day, he just walks in shirtless, and her eyes get real big, and she's like, "When did you get a tattoo?" He's like, "I've had it for a while. What are you gonna do? Be mad at me? I'm leaving for 9 months." And it was
going to war, Mom. You gonna be mad at me?
Yeah, pretty much. That's how he sprung it.
Throw his Trump card out there.
But as far as to get back to the topic, so
we tend to get off topic here from time to time. So
it is what it is.
It's the nature of the show.
Yeah, so I forget where we left off in the lineage of VSO, but
you're in it at 6 years now, and
yeah. So what we've done is we kind of went after getting a broad spectrum of people. So like I was saying before, I'm like the scientist that has had some testing and evaluation experience with a few major programs.
So you bring the scientific method into your.
I bring the scientific side of things. Obviously, my brother's our military person. We have a law enforcement individual. We have another law enforcement person that actually plays in the background. He doesn't like to be on camera very much, but he's like an advisor.
Behind the scenes advisor, yeah.
Yeah. We have another scientist that's actually a material scientist kind of guy. That's the Wombat. And then Fidelis is our actual mechanical engineer. Bringing all those sort of things together, we can produce a lot of broad perspectives on various guns that come in. So when you watch a VSO review, that gun comes in and it gets my perspective, it gets Dog's perspective, it gets Fidelis, my brother, all these different people who have different takes on things, different experience levels, that sort of stuff. Recently, we've been adding a few other guys to the roster. Our arms dealer is now playing a much larger role. He actually teaches CCW a lot, so he's got kind of the training. We have a director of training. Dog actually handles that, but our arms dealer that's in with us now, he is bringing some of the training elements that he teaches in his classes, and we're kind of helping him refine it so that he can produce a better quality class. that sort of thing. And then we're bringing in some of our other friends that are like big bore rifle centered that, we'd like to start doing a little bit more of that because we have some guys that reload like all day long. They go to work, they come home, they reload, and then they go shoot on the weekends. That's what they do.
So you guys are expanding the family a little bit.
Expand the family a little bit. So
cool.
Back to our goal. Our goal is to really produce the broadest perspective content that there is. And one of the things that we do is really go out and beat the shit out of firearms and test them. So you'll see a lot of guys that'll get a T&E gun in from a company or something like that, and they'll look it over once or twice, shoot a couple hundred rounds through it and then render a review on it.
Right.
I've had the Century Arms C39 V2 rifle that I just dropped a review on last week over on our Carbon TV channel. That thing's been here for 3 months. The finish is gone, okay? On purpose.
Now, you just did a review on your AR that you've had for, how long have you had that thing? 6 years or something?
Yep. 6 years. I built that thing.
Some extensive testing on that one.
Yeah, and what really happened with that one is that one kind of slipped through the cracks, to tell you the truth. I've been using that rifle off and on for various things across the channel since before the channel actually was founded. I built that rifle in my house, the house that I was living in right before Obama got elected in like 2009. I'm like finishing up my core requirements for my degree, and I'm like putting parts together without tools in my room and shit like that. I'm not allowed to cuss on this thing, am I?
I can bleep it. That's cool. Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, I've noticed that before. But
say the whatever you want, dude.
All right. That one, like I said, actually slipped through the cracks, and a viewer brought it to my attention. Like, hey, you've been using that gun for forever. I have no idea what it is, And I'm like, oh crap. You know what? You're right. I haven't.
So as an actual viewer brought it to your attention, you're like, yeah. It's like kind of one of those things, you have it so long, you intend to do it, but then it just other things comes up and another project comes up, and
yeah, that's how it works. And that gun has actually been through a couple barrel changes already, even. So,
has it really?
Yeah, I burnt some barrels out of it, big time. The first barrel that we took off, we were
using that steel ammo, man. That'll just shorten the life of your barrel.
Oh, that gun was not shortened its barrel life. The barrel life was far extinguished on that thing. That was way overused. We noticed it. We were doing a drill, and we actually had to shoot past the barrier where we would be on the second and third stages. The bullets had to kind of pass along the plane of that barrier before we moved to it. So we were going to move to it, shooting a target that's tangential to that barrier, move to that barrier, and then shoot some more targets. And I was shooting this target, and the rounds were keyholing so bad that they were cutting that barrier as they went by. Yeah, we're talking like a good 20 or 30 degrees of deviation when the rounds are coming out of that barrel.
A good sign you might need to change your barrel if.
Yeah, and you know what? When you come up here for the test, I'm going to bring the barrel so that you can see it.
Oh, you have it?
Yeah, I kept it. It's cool. On my shelf downstairs. I want you to see it, and it looks like a mirror down
on.
Yeah, there's no rifling left.
It's like glass, huh?
Yeah, it's nice.
Cool. Well, good, man. I mean, that's a great story for our listeners, especially the people that are just getting into maybe their own YouTube channel or their own podcast. Like you said, you guys have been doing this for 6 years, and each year you're gradually experiencing more and more success with your channel. And congratulations with that, man.
I appreciate that. And, what's really rewarding about it isn't the mile markers within the subscriber, like 60,000 this or this many million views on this. That isn't really what it is. It's the viewer interface that I get, from viewers.
Right.
I was contacted last week by a young man who was, trying to build a rifle up, and he was asking, what kind of mistakes I had made. Sounded very, very educated on the subject, but he wanted somebody who had been there, done that.
Might have been at a little stumbling block, and you were able to get him over that stumbling block.
And this is the story that I tell most that completely validated everything that I've done with VSO. I invited, it was the first time that dog came out with us, our director of training, law enforcement officer. He had a phobus at the time, and he goes to draw it on a transition drill, and he literally cannot get his duty weapon out of the holster. In a stressful situation, he could not get the turn and twist correct to get his duty gun out of the holster. This is how he's carrying his gun off duty. How many times in the news do we hear about an off-duty police officer draws his gun to do XYZ? This guy comes out shoots with us, and within the first 20 minutes has identified a piece of gear on his kit that should no longer be there. That phobus was thrown over the hill and has never returned. I'm sure it was probably hit by the hay machine a couple times. And he's never gone back. And I like to think that decision that experience influenced his gear making decisions moving forward, to the point where he really evaluated the gear that he was buying, not solely based on what the marketing hype was or the price, but on its functionality. And I've since seen him
no doubt
make major decisions on gear that have been in the correct direction, or at least were founded in some kind of logic moving forward. Everything that I've hoped to accomplish with VSO was validated by that one instance. I take this gear testing thing very seriously. Not only was it my job at one point in time, literal day job to do that sort of thing. When I'm getting an email or a message from a service member in the field or who is going to go to the field, I know that I'm being held accountable for the decisions that I put out there on the internet. So it's important that everything that we put out there is correct, or at least correct to the best of our ability for those guys who are making those life and death decisions.
So let's get into the 2015 SHOT Show interview that you and I did together. And we talked about some wild stuff. Our sponsor for that was the Artificial Shoulder Pocket. We both have some extensive experience with that, and we talk about that. At the time, there was the big SIG brace debacle with BTAF coming back out with another opinion letter. Here it is. You guys check this out, and we'll be right back with a little bit more. All right, guys, welcome back to the 100th episode of Talking Lead. We are at the 2015 SHOT Show, and we're sponsored by the Artificial Shoulder Pocket, ASP. Go to asp.co and check those guys out. And our next guest actually has some pretty awesome videos of the Artificial Shoulder Pocket on his YouTube channel. We've got Spectre from Vigilant Spectre Ops. What's up, brother?
Hey, man. Great to be here. Yes, we do have some videos of the ASP. That thing is fantastic. I love it.
Yeah,
we had an opportunity to go out with you.
That's right.
Down to Asymmetric Technologies, and
old Lefty made a guest appearance or two.
Yeah, we had a great time. Shot a whole crap ton of ammo.
Yeah,
and
we did.
By the end of the day, we were totally ready to not turn those ASPs back in. That's for sure. I was totally.
Oh, you turned yours in?
Oh no. No, I totally walked off with it. But
I did.
No, they gave it to me for testing and evaluation purposes.
Oh, okay.
So I could figure out ways to make it better, fix it.
I actually did walk off with their ASP.
Well, did they?
But I did it inadvertently.
Oh, you did it inadvertently. Well, they actually gave me
because it was like the exact same color as my carrier, the Coyote Brown.
Oh, nice.
And when we left, it was like getting pretty damn dark.
It was dark.
And we were all just huffing to get out of there. So
we were actually, to tell everybody about it, and we were actually like playing around with the idea of like low light, no light shooting.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm too tired.
Yeah. It was a long day.
Yeah, it was.
But it was fun as shit.
It was. It was super fun.
I had a blast.
Yeah, and then I tried to shoulder your monstrosity of a
300 blackout.
Yeah, that thing's so heavy, and I had been running around with ASP all day, and then shoulder that sucker.
Yeah,
and it's like, oh, I want it back.
But when you shoulder it with the ASP, man, it's just like there's no weight there.
Oh yeah, we were shooting.
It negates it.
Oh yeah, we were shooting Alex's AR-10 while we were out there.
Oh yeah, that big old heavy. That's got to be at least 3-4 pounds heavier than my 300 blackout was.
And it had heavy optics on it too.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was. Definitely,
it was redonkulous.
Yeah, it was, but it was. Yeah. It's a great product. We've been testing and evaluating it since that day, really.
Yeah,
and we had actually seen the video because they're in our area. They're located in Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah,
and we had seen the video prior to them coming out with it, and then we were at an event, and they actually fingered us, and
No.
I don't know if I should use
Rewind.
Yeah.
They fingered you?
No, I mean, they picked
picked
us
you out
out.
of the crowd?
Picked
There
us
you
out
go.
of the crowd. And they asked us if we would try it out. And, obviously at that event it was like super loud. You were there too. And we couldn't like get any reliable footage of it. So we
got some pretty good. You're talking about the Georgia event?
Yeah, the Georgia event.
Iraq Vet 888 YouTube.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a great event too. Eric and them put on an absolutely awesome event.
That's like the second year, and it was like more than double the size and double the fun.
I'm not going to give any details away, but I know that they have big plans for next year. So
there's no doubt.
If you love watching like that sort of stuff, like the candid behind the scenes YouTube stuff, just wait for that thing to come out.
Yeah.
I know there's some heavy weapons coming out for next year, and
no doubt they're trying to one up every year.
I do believe there'll be some aerial displays, perhaps even.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Cool.
What kind of connections can be hooked up? I'm not an official spokesperson of 88 Industries by any means. Yeah. However many 88s there are in,
But we are currently at the 2015 SHOT Show.
Yes,
sir. So let's talk about that. That's what everybody wants to hear about right now.
Right, exactly.
So give me your take on the show this year.
The show this year, I mean, I've seen a couple cool things.
Not overwhelmed with a bunch of new stuff.
Not overwhelmed with a bunch of new stuff. No, I do have to ask, the H&K gun, why did it get gun of the year or handgun of the year or whatever?
The VP9?
Yeah, the VP. I checked it out.
The Walther P99, PP9.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, just a remake of a Walter gun. Like I was like, wow.
I don't know.
Really reinventing the wheel there, guys.
I mean, why do people win the Heisman Trophy? It's a popularity thing, dude.
Yeah, I suppose, but like,
it's a good gun. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
it's a nice shooting gun.
Yes,
but gun of the year. I mean, is this year been that dry with new?
Well, I mean, I thought
non-innovative products,
right? But I think there were other other guns that came out, or at least came to market that were like, I think they outshined the VP9 in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
Like for instance, if you look
was this when they released the Glock, the 380?
No, that was last year.
Was that last year? Okay,
yeah.
I was going to say because that
That was pretty groundbreaking, especially for Glock. Everybody knows I'm a real big critic of Glocks, and I thought it was actually, after shooting it a lot, I thought that it is actually a pretty decent pistol.
Yeah.
Several of my friends carry it. It's a small pistol. Yeah. It fills a very, very good
It fills
role.
a void for the Glock community.
Yeah, it does. I mean, and that's the biggest problem I've had with Glock in general is there's no reason a pistol should be in that kind of dimension. That's I mean, it's 9 by 19.
Right.
I mean, I suppose the 45 cal version could be that big, but I mean, I digress.
Quit digressing, man.
I think that
you can't digress on Talking Lead. Okay, it's not allowed.
Okay, no more digress. So I think that probably a better product for a pistol of the year would have been like the IWI micro Uzi that they brought in. So everybody who doesn't know a lot about Uzis is they actually had to completely redesign that gun because it fires off of an open bolt. It's an open bolt machine gun. That's how it's designed.
Right.
So they basically had to completely turn it from a submachine gun to a pistol. First of all, which is anybody who's limp wristed a Glock that already generates problems.
Right.
And then they changed the firing mechanism so that it doesn't fire when the bolt drops. So it's actually now they completely redesigned it. It's no longer an open bolt machine gun. It is a closed bolt pistol.
Closed bolt pistol.
So if you look at that compared to the H&K VP9, you're like,
so is it actually a pistol?
It's actually a pistol.
So it's categorized as a pistol then.
Yes, it is categorized as a pistol.
But it could take a stock.
It could take a stock.
So then it would be recategorized according to the crazy NFA as a SPR.
Yes, it would.
At that point.
Now, the other thing is, if
because
you're going to go
to your shoulder.
Yes, and we're going to get to that in a minute.
Yeah. So we're building up to something here.
Yeah, we're building up to something. But the other thing that's neat about that is that pistol in particular has been set up so that you can buy it as a pistol and then SBR it later.
Yeah.
And you can tell that they did it on purpose because it has a forward rail that you can attach a forward grip, like it's like comes right even with the barrel.
Okay.
So it is designed as a pistol, but it's also designed to morph into an SBR.
It could turn into something down the road.
So if you want to buy it as a pistol and then submit your Form 1, or
which is what you would have to do,
whatever form that is,
pay your $200 and wait your year, however long it takes.
Which is really the issue that I think has really sucked the life out of SHOT Show this year. For those of you who don't know, a few days before SHOT Show, I actually published the first video on this. Like as soon as I found out like 3 hours after the
it had been building up for about a month, 2 months before. I mean, just little things here and there, and it just started snowballing.
Yes, they did. And what for those of you who don't know, the ATF basically said that that's a no. Do not shoulder anymore, because now we're going to say that the active.
But tell them what we're talking about.
Tell
them what we're talking about.
Oh, the SIG.
The SIG brace.
Yeah, the SIG.
Yeah.
TAC brace. Yeah.
The SIG TAC brace. Yeah. So that brace that goes on your AR pistol, the buffer tube, that you can strap to your forearm.
Designed to be strapped to your forearm.
It was designed, intended, to give you stability while shooting it with one hand.
Right, and there are lots of justifications for that. Like the big one that I heard was like wounded vets, disabled vets that have a hard time, and my girlfriend can't hold an AR-15 pistol with one hand out like that.
Sure.
So it helps her shoot it with one hand.
Yeah,
totally. It's a marvelous product if used as intended. Yeah. But a lot of people have been using it as a means to shoulder.
Yeah, which is it's kind of a natural thing.
Yeah,
it still gives you the stability and to be able to shoot it.
Yes, it does.
Comfortably, easily, more fluidly.
And the ATF has basically said that action reclassifies the weapon system from a pistol. Which
they've gone back from what they originally said and said, no, just because somebody does that doesn't change the design and what the product is for.
Right.
But now they're going back on that and saying that your actions reclassify the firearm now.
Right. SIG TAC, when you buy the brace, actually, or at least when I bought the brace, distributes a letter with it.
Yeah, when I got mine, it had that letter that said this is approved by the ATF. Keep that with you in case they have any questions. You can show it to them, blah, blah, blah. Good to go. Right. Great. Thanks.
And
perfect.
I was using it as I understood the laws at the time, which was that it was cool.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
And and a lot of people did. I don't know what the official numbers on the sales of those things are.
That's through the roof.
Hundreds of thousands, if not millions of them.
Probably millions.
Have been sold, and now you basically are telling.
Now they've changed the rules, and they're saying that if you shoulder it, then you've changed the use of the firearm or the product, and it turns the classification of that firearm into a SBR now.
Right, and if you haven't filled out your Form 1,
and you're caught shouldering it,
and paid your tax, you are now a felon.
But as long as you keep it on your forearm and use it as a brace, I guess, or a forearm brace, it's still a brace.
It is.
Then you're a felon.
Right. Now,
or no, wait. If you use it as then it's still a pistol.
It's still a pistol.
But if for any reason it goes up, touches that shoulder, and where's the shoulder start and end?
Exactly.
So how are they gonna classify that?
Because I can tell you right now, with it on my arm, I can quote unquote shoulder it to my bicep.
Right.
And with that, is that
people have different girths, and it's gonna this is an enigma.
Yes.
it's turned into an enigma because people kept writing these guys letters, opinion. Give me your opinion. Well, you do enough and badger them, they're just going to, they're going to get pissed off and they're going to say, "Fine, don't do it."
And that's how
we let it go. We tried to make it cool, but you guys keep pushing the issue, and somebody pushed them too far, and now they've gone and said, "Oh, I guess you're right. I guess you don't need to do that."
So when I read the text of the letter, I read between the lines a little bit, and that's exactly what I get. And I get what I read from it is, "Shut up.
We've heard enough."
Yes.
Enough is enough.
Yes.
You've pushed us to the limit. Now we're going to have to do something you don't want.
obviously.
Right. And the whole problem,
it's going to be unpopular.
Yeah, the whole problem with that is people are seeking clarification. Are you sure this is okay? Are you sure this is okay? They said it was okay, and because
they couldn't believe it. They're like, "You really? I can do this?"
Yeah, it's you guys have to remember the intent is everything.
Yeah.
With all that legal jargon and everything, it's intent has everything to do with it. If you are intending to construct that weapon to get around
to
a
be
tax,
shoulder fired,
to get around a tax for an SBR, we all know that tax evasion is illegal. I mean, like, come on, guys. That's just common sense.
Yeah.
But did you have to take it to that level?
Yeah.
No.
And ruin it for
And
everybody.
I've actually gotten a lot of heat over our initial video that because of the title, the way I titled the video.
Yeah.
It was kind of unpopular. Now that it's been, I've gotten a lot of backlash off of it for like, yeah, you're the reason this happened. And I was like, I'm a small fry, bro. Like,
and this was happening way before I got involved.
Yeah. I didn't get involved till late in the game.
Yeah, I'm just addressing the elephant that's in the room, giving your opinion, and that's what it's about. Now that's why we're here. Everybody's got different opinions, and everybody talk like we're doing. You got to talk it out.
You do.
We talk it out, and eventually we're going to come up with a solution for this.
Right, but I do think, guys, I will caution you. I do think that they're serious about this time because, like, we were at the range day, and I'm not going to
media day at SHOT Show,
and I'm not going to reveal whose booth this was at, or who produced what, or what was going on.
There was a SIG brace out there.
It wasn't a SIG brace. It was actually a brace.
Oh, it wasn't.
It was not a SIG brace, but it was a brace that was made in that's bad. Collaboration with SIG-TAC.
Stop. Collaborate and listen.
Yes, yes.
But there was a similar product out there.
And there's
rumors that the ATF...
not rumors, confirmed by...
We're going to say rumors on this show.
Okay, we're going to say rumors. We'll use the word rumors. But that they were actual photographs taken by ATF agents of people using the SIG brace or the SIG-like brace improperly, and
its manufacturers they weren't using it in the manufacturer's intended purpose.
Correct.
We'll say it that way.
Yes.
Okay. Well, obviously, SHOT Show's going to be over here at the end of the week, so next week there might be something that comes out about it, or maybe nothing will come of it. Maybe they're going to say, you know what, big deal,
maybe.
So what?
But I think they probably did it on purpose. I think
what would solve this whole thing is that if they would just say SBRs are okay. What's wrong with an SBR to begin with? Why do we need to pay a tax on it?
You're telling me actually, if you look at an
why
SBR,
do we need to pay a tax on an SBR?
I don't understand.
What's the purpose?
You're telling me that my barrel being 15 inches versus 16 inches makes that weapon that much more lethal? Actually, if you look at it, if you're really looking at the super short guns, like the 7.5 inch barrels or something like that on the AR-15, they're actually less effective or less lethal because the round is losing energy.
Yeah, but still,
if you want to get
minuscule,
if you want to get super technical,
it's minuscule. But the point is what's the point? What are they trying to accomplish? Because it's concealable, it's more concealable. Well, it's more concealable without that as an AR pistol.
Right.
So why not put more? Fill up that real estate to make it more visible. So they should be like, hey, we'll give you a discount if you put a stock on that thing.
Well, I don't like the NFA at all, period. But like, I'm kind of like the extreme on that thing. I think you should be able to go down the street and buy whatever you want.
Sure.
Like, if you want a rocket launcher, sure, you should have access to these things. Now, that's an extreme point of view, but the NFA definitely. I don't believe in regulation of machine guns. I don't believe in regulation.
Well, the whole purpose is to try to cut down on people wanting to own and purchase firearms. It makes it a hassle.
It is.
It adds more money to it, so it's more cost. So it makes people think twice. It's like, do I really want it? No, I guess I won't. And I guarantee you, that's the sole driving force in why the sales of these things went up so high. Was like, oh, here it is. Here's my solution. And obviously people misused it and abused it, and now we're all gonna.
I think it as an additive to that is, think about the amount of money lost due to people doing that instead of the SBR,
The
Form
SBR.
1, Form 4, or
Well,
whatever.
but that's what I'm saying. It's a useless. They don't need SBRs. Don't need to be. There doesn't need to be a tax stamp on it. You don't need to go through an extra step to do it. It just shouldn't, and that's what we need to focus on. We don't need to focus on the SIG braid. We need to focus on the stupid law that makes it illegal to have the SBR without it being registered and tax stamped.
I think
that's what we need to be fighting.
Yeah, exactly. We need to be fighting that sort of stuff, and I think it's completely asinine if you look at it that something being shorter, a barrel being shorter, is in the same category as a gun that is full auto or a grenade launcher.
Yeah.
All right. I can sort of see an argument, even though I don't believe in it. I can sort of see an argument for people to not have an RPG. Okay, I suppose.
Well, yeah, I can see that.
I suppose, but what if I really?
It's more arguable than a SBR,
right? But what if I have like a bunch of hogs that I want to take out all at once? Like wild boar or something like that. I mean, an RPG is a wonderful weapon.
Effective way to do that. Yeah. Absolutely. So we're talking about blowing up hogs. That's great.
Did you see the video on YouTube where the dude took
tannerite?
Yeah, he took I don't even know how much tannerite was, but I wish we had thought about that back in the day when we used to have a huge wild boar problem on the family farm. And for those of you who haven't seen it, they take all this tannerite and they bury it, and then they put a bunch of corn on top of it. So
they get a bunch of wild hogs that come and start feeding on it,
and then they shoot it, and then just bacon
there's
everywhere.
There's 20 of them that just go out, and there's all of a sudden there's 20, and then there's nothing.
Yes,
they're gone.
It's sausage and ham everywhere.
It's hilarious.
Yes, it is it will make your day if you're having a bad day. Just Google it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Now I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I want to get back to the SBR, and people are redesigning these firearms. Especially we're seeing more and more bullpup designs.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the bullpup do? It brings it in and makes it a more compact firearm, yet it's still the 16-inch on the barrels. And if you look at those, and put it up to an AR pistol or an SBR, you're talking very similar lengths there.
Oh yeah, and
so what's the difference?
Like for instance, if you take the standard Tavor even has an 18-inch barrel, so it's even more lethal if you think about it as far as long range capabilities.
But the overall length of it, because they've redesigned it, they've pulled the barrel in.
Mm-hmm.
You're still getting the ballistic effects of an 18-inch barrel.
Yes, and
but
I think that
you're getting the benefit of it being a lot shorter, more compact, firearm.
Yeah. I think the proliferation of bullpup designs has further made the whole NFA thing as far as SBRs
threw more mud into the water, right?
Well, not only that, I think it's made it even more irrelevant.
Yeah. Well, that's true. Yeah, that goes to our point that we're trying to make, is that what's the point in taxing these SBRs? It's ridiculous.
At this point in time, definitely completely frivolous.
Yeah.
You can get shorter gun. Even the Scorpion thing that came out this year.
Yeah.
It's the same
cool.
gun. It's the same gun. It just doesn't have a stock on it. All right.
But you can add one to it too.
Yeah.
You can add one to it too.
Yeah.
Same thing. It doesn't. It's still the exact same gun. We'll still do the exact same amount of performance.
Whether it's got a stock on it or not. That bullet is going to do the exact same thing when it exits that barrel.
Yeah. Whether it's got a broomstick behind it or not.
Yes. It could have a teddy bear on it for all it matters.
It could. Yeah. You could dangle your favorite air freshener back there. But
yeah. It's not going to make a hill
It's
beans
not going to
difference.
change it. Yeah.
No.
All right. So we beat that horse.
Yes, we did.
Let's talk about you guys, Vigilant Spectre Ops. Tell our listeners about you guys. You guys have a kick-ass YouTube channel.
Yeah, so we do a bunch of different things. We're very deep in the amount of stuff that we do, but we basically center around guns, gear, and training. So we'll travel to various places and do actual videos for training courses, but then the bulk of our content is actually filmed at our own range.
Right.
It's a 360-degree, 400-acre facility.
Which makes it convenient.
Very convenient. There's no worry about any cops. The neighbors really don't like it very much.
Yeah.
They say it's not very neighborly, and we say America.
We say America, come and take them, baby.
Yeah, but yeah, we.
So how did you guys get started?
We had actually watched a lot of YouTube, and we're like, wow, they're kind of not so interesting. I bet you we can do better.
We can do better than them.
Yeah, and at that time, YouTube wasn't a big thing in the gun industry, so like, it was just for fun.
Yeah.
I think we started the channel like 5 years ago, and it was just messing around. Just doing funny stuff, maybe even making fun of the guys that were like semi-established at the time.
Right.
I'd be like, hey, yeah, we can do this too, and we can like actually be funny, and we don't sound like an old man, sitting there talking at a microphone.
But we'll actually give you the correct way to do it, or show you the real use of this weapon.
So I mean, we have the big thing that sets us apart is not only all that stuff, but we are a team. I'm the owner.
Yeah.
I'm actually a scientist by trade.
A scientist.
Yeah. We have another scientist in the group.
They call you doctor?
No, don't call me that.
Dr. Spectre?
No. But my one of my
Bond,
other buddies,
James Bond.
Yeah, there you go. One of my other buddies is also a scientist. We have an engineer, a cop, and my brother is actually in the United States Navy. He's currently active.
Your brother's a freaking anchor, dude.
He is a very
They
large...
use him as an anchor, don't they?
They probably do.
He's huge.
Sometimes I think he doubles as a bosun's mate, but he's not at all. He benches well into the 400s.
No doubt. With one arm.
He's a big old boy. It's really nice though because like I shoot my mouth off a lot, if you can imagine that, and it writes a.
So you just got to remember when he's with you and when he's not with you.
Pretty much, because my ass writes so many.
Well,
checks
now you're a big boy too, so you can handle yourself.
Right, I can. I admit, but like there are lots of checks that I write that I can't pay.
Yeah.
And it's nice to have him around from time to time.
I did that growing up too. I had two older brothers, so yeah. I think we get that sense of security when they're around, and get a little more cocky than we need to.
Yeah, we hated each other growing up, and now we're like best friends. He was here at SHOT Show with us for a little while, but
yeah, we hung out. We got to go out to Nellis, and we got to do. You and I got to do some secret squirrel kind of stuff,
super secret stuff that nobody can talk about.
That's right. We get to talk about a couple of it.
Yeah, they only let us film like one or two videos.
Yeah, we didn't get to get the cool stuff.
Yeah, that's okay though.
Yeah,
there's reasons why
we got to see it though.
Yeah, we got to see it. There's reasons why, and I'm sure that anybody who's been in the military or been around
we understand why, and we're cool with it.
Yeah.
I mean, just the fact that we got to be a part of that was amazing, and we're very thankful for that.
Yeah, I think that we're. I can speak for the situation. And say I think we're both guys who just like to know things.
Yeah,
yeah,
and it's our own natural curiosity and.
That trip was
just to know that stuff exists.
Oh yeah, it was like a total mind blow.
Yeah, and a big thanks to the artificial shoulder pocket guys, Alex and Brian for setting that up.
Yeah, they did hook us up on that.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Definitely a great connection to have with those guys. I don't endorse we never endorse products that we don't use and can actually survive us.
Yeah.
Actually,
you put your stuff through some rigorous torture tests.
We do.
There's no doubt.
We did a torture test for Faxon a few weeks ago. You need to
introduce me to that guy, by the way.
Oh yeah, we do. Yeah. He's downstairs, I think.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we need to go do that. But like, they sent us a rifle and they basically said, "Do it up, see what it can handle." So we're just as a preview for everybody who hasn't been following the comment section of that video. Just heads up. We are going to be doing an official Daniel Defense test for the ARAC 21 platform.
Right on.
Yeah. The only problem is I don't have a helicopter. And I told Faxon this problem, and they're like, "Oh,
is that all? We can fix that."
Yeah. And I said, "Well, I have an airplane. It goes a lot faster than a helicopter." But I mean, if you look at the Daniel Defense test, they weren't that far off the ground, and they did drop the rifle onto soft ground, and Faxon has actually asked us to make sure that there is concrete underneath of the space that we're dropping it off of.
There you go.
So they're very confident in their product. And the other thing about Faxon that's been really neat about that video is they directly interfaced with the viewership. They were in the comment section talking technical speak and all that sort of stuff with the viewers who had questions and concerns about the performance. We didn't edit that. The only thing we edited that video for was time.
Right.
We took it out for an entire Dr. Death session with VSO. And, I mean, it was a brutal session. I even broke the stock when I smashed it off of a tree.
No, that's the one you brought to
Yeah, it was there.
to Ohio.
Yeah, that was post
To the
torture test.
asymmetric thing.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
post
you beat the hell out of that
Yeah,
thing, man.
it was all scratched up and beat up.
It looked like it was melted, too.
Yeah, we ran a lot of ammo through it.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, and it was still running, and it was still shooting good groups.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I couldn't complain. The only thing that we said that it really needed was a forward assist, and they've actually started. They're working on the engineering for the forward assist on the Faxon ARAC 21 right now.
Cool.
So they do have exciting things coming. I do believe they've got a 308 platform coming out.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll get them on the show this week.
Yeah, that would be pretty neat. I'm sure they would love to.
Okay.
Talk to you guys about that.
We'll try to work something out.
Yeah.
So if people want to find you guys on the interweb,
The interweb.
where all can they find you?
We actually rebranded. All you have to do is type in VSO Gun Channel.
That's easy.
And it goes right in. You'll find it. Or you can type in Gun Channel. So
You can also type in Vigilant Spectre Ops.
You can.
Or Operations, and it
that'll
comes up.
pop it up too. So we just thought it was just a lot to say.
Yeah, I like the VSO, man.
Yeah,
I like
so
that. Cutting it down.
Yeah, so we cut it down a little bit so it was easier to say because it's hard to tell people what it is.
Yeah.
You know, so.
But you're on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram.
Instagram, Twitter. I don't know how to use Twitter, but apparently
Same here.
there's a tweet,
Yeah.
twat,
Something going on.
something.
A tickle, a twickle, I don't know.
Something happens when I do something on any of those platforms.
Twatter.
Over there, yeah. There's a twat that goes out
Yeah,
whenever I do something on any of the other social media accounts. So
you're right.
if you follow the Twitter feed, I'm told anyway that it notifies you of everything.
There you go.
But
If not, then go to Facebook and then go to
Yeah.
Instagram.
follow us
And
on all-
obviously, your big thing is your YouTube channel.
Big
so
thing's
make sure
YouTube.
you go to their YouTube channel, check them out. Now, you guys have a store or anything? You got shirts, patches?
No, we don't do
like
any of that
Not
stuff yet. We haven't really set that up yet.
Damn, I was hoping to get one.
Sorry. You'll be the first.
Okay.
All right. When they come out, you'll get one.
Cool.
We're actually in the process of. We want to do that. We're actually rebranding our logo right now. I've got a few graphic designers that are working on it right now, and we're just literally waiting for them to get their crap together.
Okay, well,
So-
I can hook you up with somebody.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can do that,
Yeah.
definitely.
We have got a few concepts for some related businesses that are actually going to be coming in the coming years.
Mm-hmm.
We're just waiting for personnel to fall into place for those.
Right.
So we're branching out and doing some things that I'm not going to discuss right now, but they're going to be big things. They'll be really cool things.
Okay, so you're going to let us know when that happens,
Oh yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It'll be announced on Talking Lead.
Sweet.
Yes, I promise.
You're exclusive for exclusives.
Yes.
Talking Lead.
Yes, absolutely.
Spectre, thanks for being on, buddy.
Thank you for having me, man.
I know
It was
you
a great
got
time.
a lot more appointments to get to.
Yeah, I got to
um,
get going like right now, actually.
But we're definitely going to do some more stuff in the future.
Sounds good, man.
Check these guys out.
VSO Gun Channel.
Spectre, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Marty.
So that was a fun time, man. That SHOT Show. I mean, I didn't get to see a whole lot because I was doing the interviews. And from what I was hearing from everybody, there wasn't a whole lot of new innovations there this year. The people, it just seems like there was a lot more interaction and camaraderie going on at this show, which is what I enjoy about going to the show, is seeing everybody, getting caught up with them, learning what they're up to, what they've been up to. And it was just a good time for me, man. I had a great SHOT Show.
I feel SHOT Show this year was like a double-edged sword. I got a lot of work accomplished, and I simultaneously got to hang out with a lot of my friends, which is what I was there to do. I go to these events to hang out with my friends. As far as the industry contacts and stuff like that are concerned, they're going to happen. I think this coming SHOT Show, this coming January, I think I'm going to take even
2016.
more. Yeah, 2016. I think I'm going to take it even farther step back because I was at a party one night with a whole bunch of people, and Eric from IV 8088 came up to me. And he's like, man, you look tired. You need to have a beer. Can I get you one?
He's the one to talk because he's always uptight.
Yeah. And this is the context I'm talking about. when Eric says that to you, you've been working.
You have been, yeah, absolutely, yeah. You definitely need to sit down and have a beer when he tells you need to.
Yeah. Chad's like, man, you look like
I got that from several people too. I was a little frazzled. I mean, we ran into some equipment issues and technical issues, and that's when Zeke got really sick with what was that he got in his leg? I don't know, but he had to go to the emergency room. So
I remember that.
So he was out, and I was scrambling to get the show going and keep it going and get all our interviews. I was really frazzled too, man. So, but it was worth it, man. I had a great time. And, the people, like you said, they come up to you and try to relax you, make you feel at home. And this industry and our group, especially our group, man, I mean, everybody's real tight.
Yeah. And that's the camaraderie, the friendship sort of thing. I see Left Hand walking across the floor. I'm like, hey, you over there. Hey, go talk to that guy. Yeah. Fate of Destiny and her whole crew, they are workers, man.
They'll film something and 10 minutes later they'll have it posted and up on their site and ready to go. But those guys are machines. Those people are, I tell you what, exactly what you said. They are just running hard the whole time. To business. Yeah.
She did that nonstop shot thing this year, which was pretty cool actually. I mean, it was very, very innovative, literally live camera.
Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah.
Excellent idea. I wish I would have known that she was doing it so I didn't look like such an idiot and get cut out of all the footage that she took. But as far as a worker is concerned, you hit it right there. I mean, she's doing the interviews. She's handing it to person A, and it gets run up to editor.
It's all family operated. It's her brother, her dad, her sister. I don't think she was there at SHOT Show, but yeah, I mean, they've got a fine old machine there, and it works for them.
It is awesome. It is good to see it work too. It's cool.
And now it's time for Facts Fight the Myths. This week, we've got a pretty good one. Actually, Spectre has a really good one.
Oh, put me on the spot here. What are we going to do?
You know why? Because I don't have one.
I come into the Talking Lead show and take over. This is not good.
That's right, man.
Your viewership is going through the floor as we speak.
It's called delegation. I'm delegating this to you.
Yep, definitely only going to last a month on this show.
You're like, thank God, I only got one more episode.
So my fact this week is talking about steel targets. If you watch VSO Gun Channel, you know that we shoot almost exclusively steel. And I see some okay made targets, I see some crap made targets, and I see some excellent made targets. But the one thing that they all have in common is that they have pretty much the same parameters that manufacturers will put out there for the distance at which you're supposed to shoot them. Sometimes they're even bad, like 50 yards for a pistol. Who's shooting a pistol at 50 yards or a rifle at 100 yards? Well, I mean, my range that I train on, actually, we only have a few areas that'll actually reach 100 yards on the main range. So when we're doing the dynamic stuff, we're shooting them much, much closer than that. And what a lot of people don't realize is that distance rating is not for safety. It's for the specification of the target. So this target is rated to take hits of 5.56 at this distance. And 5.56 is actually a really bad caliber for steel targets because it's moving so fast. It pings it up a lot.
Don't they also do that, like you're saying, and it's to extend the life of your product, of the steel target, is the main reason, right? Because you can put holes through those things if you get too close or you don't get them far enough out.
Yes, that's true. You're going to pit your steel a lot faster if you are shooting at closer ranges. You're going to beat them up a lot faster than if you're shooting at the rated distance. But a lot of people think it's for a safety issue. And you have just as much likelihood of getting hit by a piece of frag off of a steel target, whether you are at the rated distance or you're at half the rated distance. And I was shooting the other day and I got hit by a piece of frag and I was 100 plus yards away and I got hit in the head with a piece of frag. If the target is constructed properly to deflect fragmentation downwards, towards the ground, safe where you want it to be, then you're gonna have just as much likelihood as getting hit with a random piece of frag at 100 yards as you are going to get hit by a piece of random frag at 10 yards. Now, what happens when a bullet hits a steel target is it's going to fragment in the directions that are not penetrated by the steel. So literally you've got 180 degrees in the front and all three axes in front of the target that are going to get where there's going to be a flat field generated. And as you move out, there's a cone that's going to get wider and wider, it's just like shooting. It's a minutes of angle away from the target. You're going to get a cone, and that stuff is going to spread out. So you have the appearance, the apparency of the fragmentation being much more likely to hit you at close ranges because the frag field is tighter. When in reality, what's going on is you are just as likely to catch one of those pieces back there that had your name on it. Right. It's not a safety issue, and a lot of frag isn't going to hurt you per se. It may get your attention, but it's not likely to do bodily harm. We're going to have a video come out in the coming weeks where we are destroying some prototypes at much closer ranges with a 50 cal, and we never experienced a piece of frag off of that incident. And we shot probably 20 or 30 rounds sitting there, and not one piece of frag.
I was going to say that's going to be an awesome video.
Oh, it's a really cool video. Lots of chance and lots of opportunities for something to come back at us, but it just thoroughly illustrates that it's literally random chance.
Yeah.
And when you're talking about 50 cal, it's probably in your best interest to first of all, your target is going to be destroyed if you're shooting it within the rated distance, because 50 cal has got a lot of horsepower. Same thing with 338. You want to use those at the recommended distances for the target purposes. The flak field is going to be a lot larger for those rounds as well. So there's going to be a lot more material bouncing around. It is in your best interest to shoot it at the recommended distance, but as far as training is concerned, it's part of shooting, guys. You have to understand that
that's why you wear the protective gear, the eyes, the ears, the vest. Even when you're shooting the 5.5, train with the 5.56.
Guns are dangerous. Okay, this is the underlying premise. You have to know what you're doing. You have to wear the proper safety equipment. Even if you're shooting at paper and you limp wrist your Glock, it could eject a casing into your eye, okay? Or a piece of...
Oh, not to mention the hot brass, when you're shooting and it'll fall down into your shirt and all that kind of stuff.
All of these things. So these are all things that we experienced at one point in time. You have to recognize them as a potential hazard and mitigate them with the safety equipment.
Right. And by the way, the next time you do a in-depth testing of 50 cals where you're going to be shooting multiple rounds like that, I better get an invite.
You got it. So that was actually an incident where our target sponsor came up and actually wanted us to produce video on some of their new targets that they were offering. And we'd had it in the works for a long time. And to tell you the truth, it slipped my mind. I probably should have invited you because that would have been awesome. Next time I will let you know. It was a lot of fun. That video is published on Carbon TV as well. It will come down to YouTube eventually. We were testing their 50 caliber target, which is a hog of a target, man. Just absolutely awesome target. Lots of fun. You can see that video over on our Carbon TV channel.
All right. So last week we started our trivia again, and it was related to one of Spectre's videos. It was the
Wolf Performance Ammunition Myths Dispelled.
The trivia question was, which machine gun is featured in that video? And we've got a winner. We had several people send in their guesses, but we only got one guy that got it right, and it's devinphip@gmail.com. He emailed it to us, and he said that the light machine gun used was an IMI Negev. We also would have accepted IWI Negev. And Spectre, tell us the difference of the IMI, IWI. It's
so they're
like political or
sides.
something, right?
Yeah, they're different sides of the same company. So IWI is the American company. It's out of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, that brings the all of the Israeli weapons into the country. So IWI brings in all of IMI.
So it's like Israeli weapons, and then the other one is Israeli military or something like that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
IWI is Israeli Weapon Industries. IMI is.
You know what? We should have used that as the trivia question.
We should have, but I have a better trivia question. So
you got one. Okay. All right. So Devin, congratulations. You're going to win something from the secret Talking Lead stash. I'll get in touch with you via email. Yeah, take it away, Spectre. What's this week's trivia question?
So from Big 3 East, we've been doing a lot of work with IWI as well as a lot of other manufacturers. And there was a particular video where we were shooting machine guns out of a vehicle, and there is another machine gun featured with an IWI Negev in one of our videos. What is that machine gun?
Okay, and name the video.
There you go.
So you got to name the video, and you've got to name that machine gun. All right, Spectre, another great show, man. I appreciate you taking the time. I know you've been really busy. You got a lot of personal things going on with your house there, getting it ready, putting it on the market. You may not want people to know that. I can edit that out if you do. No,
they can come buy it if they want. They don't sell it for sure.
Hey, I know a good real estate company that could help you out with that. HG Press over at Benchmark Realty here in Tennessee. The guys at HG Press, Holder and Green Professional Real Estate Services, would be glad to help you with that. You can give them a call at 1-800-615-1840, extension 2222. But looking forward to having you on again next week. We're going to be doing more of our Fikes to Fat the Myth, or trivia questions, and we'll have new, exciting content for you guys.
Guys, I just wanted to say, again, thanks for having me on the show, and thanks for giving me such a warm welcome over there on all of the Talking Lead media accounts. You guys are great. I feel like I'm really welcome over here. Saw you guys over there on Facebook. I had to figure out how to work my Facebook, actually. But
we're working on it. I'm getting you there.
We're working on that sort of stuff. I don't really. I've been kind of neglecting those accounts, if you will, but I'm starting to see the value in Facebook, even though they don't really do a whole lot to help us content creators out in the firearms industry. But that's numbers. Yeah. There is strength in numbers. With that said, guys, remember that we are collaborating with Talking Lead to produce the ultimate AK-47 torture test. If you guys are capable of supporting that effort, we'd greatly appreciate it. You can do that over on the VSO Patreon account, Patreon/VSO Gun Channel.
All right, guys, we're wrapping up another show here, but we will definitely see you again next week. And as always, leadheads, keep your loved ones close.
And your firearms closer, guys.
That's the best you can do? That's the twist?
I forget my line.
You forgot your line?
Yeah, I forgot my line. And remember, guys, to keep your friends closer.
To what? No.
It up.